Another team with a quarterback on a rookie deal, and we have no questions about what he could do for the future. Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. The Commanders, seeing that they have a superstar quarterback, Chris, they go out and trade for a franchise left tackle in Laremy Tunsil.
Yep.
They traded for Deebo Samuel to help out their wide receiver room, which we think they're not done there yet.
Right.
They obviously still have some draft picks to make that work. We'll talk about that in a second. One of the more surprising deals to me at free agency, Javon Kinlaw gets 3-year, $45 million.
Agreed.
Jonathan Allen out the door. But, man, I think the main talking point with the Commanders is just that Laremy Tunsil is now the protector of Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing. I mean, I agreed with you. I reacted Monday, I think, live to it happening or just right after it happened going, wow, I did not think, the Javon Kinlaw was going to get $15 million a year. I didn't think that was going to happen. No. Now, I understand it, and I can get around it. And, again, sometimes stuff is about culture and guys we know and play in a style and which we like, and I've known that person, so I trust him. And Kinlaw coming from San Francisco with Adam Peters. Dan Quinn runs that Seattle scheme, which they ran in San Francisco or in the Jets.
Yeah.
So he goes, wait, this is a guy that knows how to do my scheme, and I know how to use him just right. So I understand that. I do. The same thing with Deebo Samuel. Again, I have questions about Deebo Samuel and how great he is as a receiver now. Right? But I do, if they can get one other receiver to where you're not depending on him just to be the go-to guy and beat man-to-man coverage if a team decides to double Terry McLaurin, right? That's where I don't love Deebo Samuel. I want him in the slot with a little pressure, and now you can use him as a little pressure off of him as a route runner, and you can use him as a weapon. But, yeah, they're making moves there in Washington, and I give them credit for that. I certainly do. I mean, hey, the Kinlaw thing's great. Deebo is great. You sign back Zach Ertz, where we know he found a little niche and role with the football team. And then, yes, ultimately – an offensive line that I think played better than I thought they would last year, but they get a proven commodity in Laremy Tunsil where they know, like, hey, he's one of the best pass-protecting left tackles in football. He is getting up there in years a little bit, but they're going the same thing we're saying about Minnesota right now. We don't want to get a rookie left tackle. We're ready. We just went to the NFC Championship game. We'd rather have the proven commodity here. And, yeah, we had to trade some assets away, but we kind of feel like we're in that window and we're trying to go for it right now, and I'm not mad at him for that. He's certainly a franchise left tackle still.
And the fact they pulled this off while still keeping the 29th pick in the draft, the 61st pick in the draft. And, Chris, we're going to talk about the draft a lot over the next 2 months, but the read on it, at least for me, is there are so many guys that were college tackles that are going to play guard or just guards.
Yeah.
Going out and getting a proven commodity at tackle, and then you can draft a guard is so much easier.
Way easier than doing it the other way around.
Than sitting there at 29 and being like, okay, maybe Joshua Simmons from Ohio State falls or Josh Connerly falls, and maybe they're good year one. But I don't want to play the maybes in front of Jaden Daniels. I want to play the definites.
Connor, I think you're having the conversation or the thought of what they were thinking exactly, right?
Right. And to recap the trade one more time.
And a guard is easier to infuse into the NFL at an early stage of their career and just make that work way easier than a left tackle, which is more of a roll of a dice. And as we've seen, some of the best ones, it takes them 2 or 3 years, right? We're sitting here in New York. Everybody called Andrew Thomas a bust for 2 years. Now in year 3 and 4, all of a sudden we're like, oh, shit, he's the best left tackle in football. But to your point, I don't think they want to wait for that, even if it was that story.
No, they're just trying to set the offense up for success. And with those first 2 picks in the draft, they can go receiver and guard, guard and receiver, whatever it is they ultimately think they need.
Hey, listen, I like Washington. Call me crazy, right? I'm one of those a little bit that even though Washington went to the NFC Championship game and I know Jaden Daniels is awesome, I also do wonder, hey, was it a first-year energy bump, the quarterback, right? Cliff Kingsbury back in the fold, all of that motivation. Now you're going to have people all over you, studying what Jaden Daniels does, studying Cliff Kingsbury. That initial energy won't be there. And here's the other thing, too. And, again, the roster is good, right? But, like, I guess what I'm trying to say is sometimes when I think about Washington and I think about these things over the last few weeks when you start to get in draft and free agency mode in the direction of the team, right? Like, there's a part of me sometimes that looks at it and go, could I see them falling off a little next year? I don't. Just this again. I'm just talking out loud. Yeah, a little bit. Did they have some miracles this past year that helped them get to where they are? I mean, we could go through 5 or 6 games where I could just tell you things absolutely fell perfectly for them, right? I mean, whether it could be week 2 with the New York Giants, if Malik Neighbors catches the ball on the sidelines, they lose. They're 0-2 right off the bat.
The Bears game.
Right. The Bears game, of course. There's a number of other ones that were nail-biters. The Pittsburgh Steelers game, or no, they lost that one. There was another game, too, I had in my mind. But either way, that's my point. But they're doing good things. They're being aggressive, and they have a plan. And how can you not be happy about that? And with that quarterback, we know they're going to have a chance. Thanks for watching Chris Simms Unbuttoned. Hey, just because the season's over, it doesn't mean we're over. We ain't going anywhere. The NFL never dies.
We're staying right here. Hit subscribe. We got every NFL move. We'll react to that. Plus, Chris has got 4,719 draft prospect profiles to do.
Thanks again for watching. Subscribe. You know where to find us. Peace out, homies.